Hey carnivores, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Bella the Steak and Butter Gal. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day today. Today's video, I have a very special and gorgeous guest. Her name is Michelle Lalic. She is a 2-year carnivore now. She is a Malaysian fashion consultant and currently she is working and living in Singapore. Everybody, welcome my guest, Michelle.
Thank you, Bella. I'm so happy to be on here, really.
So I want you to just start from how you started with nutrition and diet and health.
Okay, so I think taking back just a little bit of backstory. In my childhood, I'm sure a lot of the girls out there would relate. That's the time when in your teens, you're not very sure of, you're very low in your self-esteem. Where in high school, your body image is always an issue. If you don't have perfect skin, it's always an issue. And we are very much tainted by the media, what's painted to us as the beauty. So we're always in search of trying to look beautiful or trying to be very vain. So I think at a point of time in my teens is that I suffer a lot of skin issues since I was young. And this is probably genetics because my mom herself had a lot of skin issues like rashes, eczema. It would just keep coming. And all she told me when I was a kid is that you can never fix this. It's something that we inherited. So rashes would just come in and out and I just have to deal with that. So I would have red patches all over my skin. I would feel pretty insecure in my teens with that. I never had perfect skin and never really knew what I should do. I was never really into eating savory, like proper food. I grew up eating things like Oreos, all the sweet desserts, candies, biscuit, anything that was instant. My mom was very hardworking at a point in time. My dad as well. They were always out. So they could only prepare us like instant meals, like instant noodles.
Yes.
Anything that's easy. Yeah, anything that's easy.
Oh, so when you were growing up, I'm guessing you were living in Malaysia.
Yes, it was in Malaysia.
So what does a typical Malaysian cuisine look like?
Typical Malaysian, in breakfast, it's a rice that is cooked in coconut like essence, rice, and then there's a side of like anchovies and chili paste and nuts. I know it sounds really crazy right now, and fried chicken.
Oh, whoa. So fried, so at least there's meat, but it's fried.
Yeah.
Lots of rice, I'm guessing too.
Yes, so they call it the nasi lemak. Nasi lemak, if you translate it, right, it actually literally means fat rice.
Wow.
Because nasi is rice and lemak is fat. So
fat rice. So what is the fat that you guys use to cook with?
vegetable oil.
Oh man, that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's everywhere in the stores, and that's what they cook it in. And in Malaysia, it's very popular that people like to deep fry in obviously vegetable oil.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so I have a good idea of what you ate growing up. And regarding your self-esteem, your skin issues, I totally relate. I don't know about you, but I had a lot of acne on my face. Lots of rosacea, very red skin. And no matter what I used, it would just not heal. So I would just go to school either feeling very embarrassed, not looking at anybody in the eye, and honestly not socializing because I hated my look. Or when I discovered makeup, I don't know when you started wearing makeup, but I think I was 16 years old. I discovered makeup and I was like, oh my gosh, I can finally hide my disgusting red blotches. And what I did was I caked makeup on my face. It looked so bad, but to me, I was like, finally, I can have an even face. And honestly, that made my skin worse.
But you're lucky. You can wear makeup at 16 years old. That was in high school. We couldn't. It's a part of the school's rule that you cannot wear any makeup. So imagine that.
Oh no. When did you start realizing that skin could be improved with nutrition?
I did a lot of research trying to see what's out there. Everyone is talking about Accutane. You should try Accutane. It's all in the forums, like this is the magic pill. And I went to dermatologists. I spent lots of money. And in the end, I begged the doctor, like, can I please try this Accutane? She was so hesitant and she was like, "You're still young. Are you sure about this? You cannot get pregnant like when you're on the course." I tried it. I took it, Accutane, and it cleared my skin. It was perfect
Like how soon?
in 6 months. But you had the purge, it really
Yeah.
started purging. And at the point of time, I was like, well, I couldn't recognize myself because I thought it was already bad before that. And now it got worse. And the thing is, right after that 6 months, my skin just cleared up. No matter what I did to my skin, even touching my face with my dirty hands, I wouldn't have any breakout. And your skin is so dry. You cannot be on this long term. Um, because eventually your liver is going to start filling it, and it's not healthy to be on it long term. And that's when I realized that things started to go downwards when I had itchiness. On top of the acne, I have itchiness. My skin got so dry, my eczema started flaring up. It's like you want to have clear skin, face, no pimples,
Yes.
but then your skin got too dry and your eczema is coming to attack you.
So you have to sacrifice one thing for another issue. I get
know.
it. I also have eczema, so I get the struggle.
So even until today, I've been carnivore for 2 years plus. I still have pretty flaky, dry lips if I don't really, excessively try to moisturize it. I think that's something that's been quite damaged for sure. And I think that's what kind of led to all my other, eczema flare-ups along the way, and especially digestive issues. A lot of indigestion. I never really had constipation, but it's more of loose stools, indigestion, and really, really painful stomach cramps.
Oh, wow.
This is after and during and after Accutane.
What exactly got you started with keto? Were you just trying to heal your gut?
Oh, yeah. So keto, I went into it because I wanted to play with body composition. Because I started working out, I started watching a lot of YouTube videos, and one point the trend is that everybody is doing home workouts, all those like HIIT training. So I was like, you know what? I think this is my thing. I'm gonna try it out. And then you get sucked into this whole like bodybuilding world. People would have like really visible muscles and very ripped, all these ladies. And I told myself like, this is kind of interesting. Maybe let's see what my body can do. So I would do a lot of HIIT training, and that's when I stumbled upon keto online.
Gotcha. I'm sure some things healed now that you went low carb though. From eating junk and fried chicken, now you're eating keto. So what healed?
So during keto itself, some of the improvements that I got, it's maybe my energy was slightly better than before. Before, for sure, I had a lot of crashes. I'm not an active person. I wasn't energetic, but I think trying out keto at the same time I was doing this HIIT workout, it really fueled my kind of energy to wake up in the morning, fasted, and I would do the HIIT workout, which is not very easy to do. So at that point of time, I thought that, wow, this keto is giving me a lot of fuel.
Did your skin get any better?
Yes, my
Oh,
skin
good.
got better. My skin got better. I wouldn't say perfectly, but for sure, things like rashes that would keep me up at night, it kind of started reducing.
Gotcha.
It would still happen, but it's way better than before for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then now I'm impatiently like wanting to fast forward to carnivore because
know.
clearly keto wasn't good enough for you. So
Yeah.
how did you become so curious to fall into carnivore?
I remember the day that I turned carnivore is in February 2019. I still remember like what I tracked, what I ate on that day. That's the time that I start removing everything. I think what really triggered me was so that was February 2019, but a few months before that, I was still doing keto. I was actually diagnosed with PCOS. When I was doing keto, I always felt that, okay, I have better energy, my skin is better, but sometimes my hair will still fall out. I just know, when you're not your best, so I was like, you know what? And by the way, my period was irregular during keto.
Oh,
Yeah.
now was it irregular before keto as well?
Yes, has been quite irregular since the start of my teens until keto. I think that's something that never really fixed it because I suspected, after watching all these YouTube videos, you try to educate yourself, you start to be a little bit more mindful, like, you know what, maybe I do have PCOS. I don't know.
Right, right.
Right? So I was like, okay, you know what? I need a professional. I cannot self-diagnose myself, obviously. So I went to the doctor. And funnily, I think this story I never really shared with anyone. The doctor he's overweight and he's balding,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
and and I told him, I said, I don't know what's wrong. I'm feeling very tired. My period is not regular. Do you think I have PCOS? That's what I asked him directly. And he looked at me and he was like, you cannot have PCOS because you're so small sized.
What?
Yeah, because if you Google about PCOS, most of the people with PCOS symptoms is that they would be overweight because they have insulin resistance. Yeah, so PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, so usually they would do like an ultrasound to check whether you have that kind of cyst or tumor that needs to be removed. So then he was like, I don't think you have PCOS. I said, like, can you at least check?
Yeah, yeah.
So he was like, you know what? Okay, let's, lie down. I'm going to check it, right? So he did the ultrasound and everything. And he's like, see, I told you it's not there.
Wait.
He didn't see anything. Okay, nothing. I was like, okay, but what about blood tests? This is all from my own research. The doctor should have told me what I can do.
Right.
So he was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do your blood test and you can come back next week and I'll let you know the result. When I came back that week, and he just looked up at me and told me that, yes, you do have PCOS.
Did you just weren't you pissed? You must have been pissed.
Of course.
You had to persistently ask because you were
Yeah.
so sure. And
Yeah.
you did all the research to get to that blood test. Otherwise, he would never have offered it to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but I just have to say this. This is another reason why I don't trust any medical professionals anymore. Lesson learned, huh? Okay, so you discovered you have PCOS. What was the next step?
So the doctor asked me, do you want to go on metformin? Oh, are you serious right now? I'm not even 30 years old. Like, come on. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. I would. And my mom was quite worried. She was like, you know what? Maybe you can continue to do your research. She knows my personality. Like, I would try to fix something on my own before I take medication because that is not what I want to do because that's what Accutane did to me. So I started Googling and I came upon Stephanie Keto person talking about like all these issues that people have. And I know that PCOS is tied together with insulin resistance. Period is irregular, your mood will be unstable and so on. So because of this whole PCOS trigger, that got me into carnivore.
Well, that's such a blessing, truly, because when you're in a desperate moment, you really search harder. I'm curious, how did you start the carnivore diet? Did you do overnight type of deal or did you do gradually into it?
Overnight type of deal.
Just
There's no such thing as like slowly into it. No. Not with me. Same like you know that.
So we are both type A personality, all in or not at all type of absolutely no moderating, just all in. So Michelle and I, we both started carnivore overnight. Now, this is where actually we should discuss a little bit about whether or not we both would actually recommend it to others doing this overnight flip of a switch, right?
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Okay, based on my observations and watching a lot of YouTube videos of people trying out the carnivore diet and podcasts, I noticed that there are some people that are more suitable for the all-in approach. You need to know your personality. So if you are type A, you are very much in control, you have a lot of discipline. You know yourself better. If you have a lot of discipline and you have a checklist of everything, you keep things organized, I think all in is going to be good for you because, and one thing is that you need to have the grit because all in would also mean that you're going to have more side effects at once.
True, very true.
Yeah, so you need to remind yourself that, okay, you know what, I'm the kind of personality that I can push this through at one go. I'm just going to do it. That will be all in. But for someone that, maybe they come from the background of their personality type is a bit more passive. They like the approach, take things slow, that kind of approach. And they're always skeptical about things like, oh, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure about that, not very confident.
Like
I think,
indecisive.
yeah, indecisive. Then probably you want to come up with a list, take one thing at a time. Maybe like watching Bella's video, you know that, she's doing this beef only. So you could probably do it at the end of a checklist. Your goal is to do beef only, but then work backwards, right? Then before that, how are you going to slowly get into the beef only? Maybe at the start, you should include all meat. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be sausages. It can be, not just beef only, but include all the animal products. So at least you have more variety. So you won't feel like you're only left with one option. And that's quite difficult.
Oh, I love that advice. Never heard of that. That is very, very nice. Okay, so having like your end goal as that end target, the light at the end of the tunnel, but then coming up with the very meticulous steps to get there. Oh, I love that. All right, so Michelle, you started the carnivore diet overnight, and you must have come across a lot of hurdles, issues that just came all at once. I know I have. I would love to hear what you had to overcome.
Okay, so I think before you start to go all in, I think it's very important that try not to copy what exactly people are doing. So for me, I didn't know that I have some food sensitivities at the beginning of carnivore. So things like shellfish, seafood, that kind of depends. Beef is always very safe. Beef should always be a staple for sure. Ruminant animals, so even like lamb, if you prefer the flavor, you can have that kind of variety. It kind of gives you a different taste, so it satiates you more. But what I did was that you should avoid doing this is that when I see what is on other people's plate in YouTube, right, I will be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I will have a steak, I will have a lamb, I will have salmon and salmon roll, right?
Okay.
And which I think, okay, why not salmon roll, for your omega-3 and so on. And when I did, and the worst thing is I did not know, I wasn't very confident like where I got the fish roll from. I just went to some market and get it.
Oh.
I think you kind of know what I'm going to say, right?
Yes.
So I just followed what others are doing without going deep into my own background and doing my own research, whether this food works for me. I had allergic reaction eating the salmon roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had some hives after that. And then immediately I told myself, oh no, this carnivore is a bad idea.
Oh man, see, this is one of the top mistakes that I hear over and over again. Somebody copying somebody else's meals, and then it doesn't work out, and they automatically assume carnivore is not for me, and they leave.
Doesn't work, yeah.
But you didn't leave.
I did not. I was like, no. I think it's the salmon roll. I'm gonna try again. Okay. The all in, right?
Yes. What did you end up discovering is best for you?
Beef, lamb. I work well with beef and lamb.
Cool.
For sure. I know some carnivore thrive without salt, but I realized that I do need salt. But I'm open-minded. I try to do without the salt. Then I started feeling a little bit more dizzy. I'm not really my best. So I started adding salt again. Okay. So ruminant animals, definitely I would say 90% of what I eat is beef. I did try organ meat as well, but not always, once in a while. Those are the ones that's been working well for me. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. And I wanted to add on to the salt topic. Salt is huge in the carnivore community, definitely in the keto community. And since both are pretty close to each other, what should one do about salt, right? And this is another big mistake that people will leave the carnivore diet for, because they think either it's a ton of salt or none at all. That's usually the trend that I see. Well, guess what? Nobody knows how much salt you need for your body until you start experimenting with it. So, of course, you can start the carnivore diet as a newbie with a lot of salt, right? If you're coming from a diet with already high sodium, high salt, I highly recommend that you do not cut it out completely. In fact, you should wean off of it if your goal is to do no salt. I personally love my meals with zero salt. I love the
Mhm.
taste of beef without anything on it. And I also have experimented enough to say confidently to you guys that I feel my best with zero salt. Now, with Michelle, you're probably different because you are a different person from me. So, with salt, how much do you tend to have?
In the past, I used to be like in my first year carnivore because I wanted to be very sure of what I'm doing. I would actually take about I'm not sure how much is that. It's your Redmond real salt, that's tiny little shaker.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so that amount, I would try to finish that whole amount in that one day.
Oh, okay. That's a healthy amount. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So I would actually take it fasted in the morning when I'm going to do my workout. I noticed that taking salt before doing a fasted workout, you have better energy
Ah.
somehow. Yeah. So that's something that I do, and I think in the carnivore space, a few of them are also trying this out. Like before you do a fasted workout, you would take a pinch of salt. It kind of helps. Yeah.
Ah, that's not the first time I've heard it. The pinch of salt, like a little bit on your tongue, is kind of like a quick fix for a lot
Yeah.
of carnivore adaptation issues. For
Yeah.
example, if you have those headaches, take some salt. And if you
Yeah.
have some low energy, dizziness, salt will help. Even for fasting, if you're a newbie to
Yes.
fasting and you get those hunger pains, salt will help as well. So
Yeah.
good idea. Let's go more into detail regarding how you felt and what changes you saw the longer you were carnivore.
The first change definitely is my skin. I thought that I would have to be on Accutane for the rest of my life, but ever since cutting out all the junk, all the things that I learned in keto, I'm not saying keto is bad. I'm just saying just be a little bit smarter in your keto choices. So things like your vegetable oil, your nut butter, your cheese, depending where the cheese is from. I was very into that in keto, but the moment I went to carnivore, removing all those really helped with the condition of my skin. So eczema is gone. I no longer have hives where, I would feel itchy. I think it's the histamine response. I think carnivore really improved the histamine issues for sure. And acne, I mean, the girls would know that, whenever it's the time of the month, you will have some kind of like cystic breakout. I don't have that anymore. Yeah.
Wow, what a
Number one, that's benefit number one.
the first of a long list. And I know Michelle's story, so I want to uncover the best parts of her story. So her biggest benefit, definitely the skin. Also for me, so this is not new and you guys hear about it all the time from me, that skin does improve like drastically. So we both can confidently say that during our period, the worst time for our skin is fine. No more cystic bumps.
Yeah.
I usually get it around the mouth.
Same.
Yeah, so literally
Yeah.
no more.
On keto, I think maybe some people will relate. Like on keto, you would still have like very tiny little bumps here and there. It's not just the hormonal. I think it's histamine. So
It could be.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, like little whitehead, little tiny
Yeah.
specks.
yes.
For me, I started extremely, extremely oily. But when it was winter time, like in New York, when it's freezing, my skin would be peeling, but yet so greasy. So this was when I was vegan. My skin was completely messed up. But I would have all of the issues, flaking, but still very greasy. My makeup will always melt off my face at the end of the day, and carnivore definitely stabilized my skin. It's definitely more normal, but still a little bit more on the oily side. But still, it's a lot better. At least I don't flake.
But I must say, after watching a lot of these videos and people on Instagram, your skin is really the best that I've seen, because
Wow.
really looking at the angle of like, not just the shape, it looks very firm.
Thank you. Well, hey,
It's all the
24,
collagen,
Michelle.
No, you see, You see, I wish I can go back to my 24 years old and told myself that, hey, just do carnivore.
This is the moral of the story. Just start now, okay?
Just do it.
Yeah, better late than never. All right, so let's move on from skin. What other changes have you noticed?
I think the next benefit for me is that, which will speak to a lot of the inquiries out there, women are afraid to go into carnivore because they're afraid of weight gain. I used to be someone that really focuses on the scale, the numbers, but it's not about the weight. It's all about how you look at the end of it, because you could be a certain number that you're not happy with, but you'll be happy because maybe your waist is more defined, but the number doesn't mean anything. So I was wrong in the past. I really focused on the scale, and I wasn't very happy. And the moment that I went to carnivore, the first 6 months or so, I drop off the scale. I just focus on prioritizing my protein, eating enough fats, and lifting weights. It couples together with my energy, and then I start to see that, oh, you know what? I'm getting leaner in the midsection. And then other places, like, okay, for example, we know that all the women are trying to build their glutes, have a curvier butt,
Booty.
obviously, right? So that for me, I was able to grow my glute muscles way better than when I was in keto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
So
very true.
body recomp, definitely, I think I am the happiest at this age, compared to, I think, in my teens, where I was very, low on my self-esteem. You're always trying to be either too skinny or a certain look, but I think this is my healthiest. And the most important thing is, you're happy with your body composition is one thing, you have energy to be active, and your hormonal cycle is normal. I think that three thing is very key.
Yes. Right there, my top mottos for carnivore, Michelle just listed. The top mistakes that I see over and over in the carnivore realm with especially ladies is, firstly, ladies start obsessing over numbers. They continue to obsess with tracking, weighing their food, measuring their food, measuring their waist, and then looking at the number on the scale. It will F you up, really.
Yeah.
And it's going to just ruin your motivation, your drive, your conviction. All of that is going to be in the gutter when you start focusing on numbers. So I think that's one of the top mistakes on carnivore is you continue to obsess or even care about numbers, even with blood glucose numbers, I have to say, that is actually not a good marker of your progress, because the blood glucose takes a lot of time to heal. If you are carnivore, you have found the solution to all of your issues. Do you still weigh yourself to this day?
No, actually, I removed it completely from my life. It's no longer visible to me. And I think you need that if you really want to do this correctly and not go a step back. When you have progress and then you start looking at the scale again, you're going to take many steps back. So just throw away the scale.
Do you find that you don't have to work out as intensely and frequently to get the figure you want?
I think my workout routine, it's a lot more than average. I know people normally do like 4 or 5 days or 3 days. The reason why I do it like 5-6 days a week is because I truly enjoy it. So it's not because of like I wanted to have that certain aesthetic. I think it's the energy that you get when you wake up in the morning and then you have a very fun workout program, that you look forward to doing. So sometimes when I'm not doing it, but this is one thing, don't overdo it, obviously. You need to have rest and recovery. You need to sleep well, or all the other body composition is not going to come. So I will still need to remind myself, hey, it's a rest day, so don't do it. So for me, I normally work out 5-6 days. My workout usually lasts about 45 minutes or less.
Oh, that's pretty short, nice and efficient. You touched on another big mistake that I really love, and I want to just elaborate a little bit more, is you don't give your body time to rest, right? You don't focus on the rest, and you are obsessing again on working out, exercise, overstressing your body, basically. So I think something very important for new carnivores is the first month, maybe even the first few months, take a break. Take a break from any stressors, including exercise, activity, gym. and focus on healing. Because everybody now has something to heal. Especially with this modern diet, we've already messed something up along the way. No matter your age, no matter how clean you ate, something went wrong with this type of diet. So when you come to carnivore, give your body some time to just focus on healing. And I think if you do that, you'll actually get to your goals quicker. It's actually more efficient and productive for your body to first heal and then add in some enjoyable exercise.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see any changes in your hair?
Okay, so keto, I was mentioning that my hair got thin. I was losing quite a lot of hair, and I think it's also another mistake is that because I was into fasting a little bit too much. When I heard that the longer you fast, the better it is. Okay, so then I will go on 48, 72 hours. Okay, then I will feast, but it's not really a feast.
Yeah.
As what I have, learned from Coach Raymond in your IG live.
Yes.
You would just eat what you think it's suitable at that point of time, like satiates you, but it's not a job to feast, right? Yeah. So I think that's a mistake that I made, and then I will continue to do it, on a very regular basis to the point that my hair would started like getting thin. But now that I'm in carnivore, definitely prioritizing protein. I'm eating a little bit more. Even though I'm fasting, my hair is normal.
Oh, yay! So that's already a very clear sign that your body is not malnourished anymore. When you're not eating enough, you're actually going to get all of the negative obstacles, all of the negative symptoms of carnivore. You could actually bypass all of that if you focused on eating enough. Michelle touched on Coach Raymond's Instagram Live. He's actually going to be on my channel soon. I booked a date with him, but if you do not know who he is, check out my Instagram page and watch my recent 2 live streams with him. I introduce him and I also share his whole idea and perspective on fasting and feasting. Even though I see him as a fasting expert, he actually focuses much more on the eating aspect than the fasting. So Michelle, with carnivore, you definitely are eating a lot more, I'm guessing, than when you were on keto.
A lot more for sure. Protein definitely meeting the requirements, and that's how I built muscles, for sure. And I don't know, obviously, you have this tracker. I'm using this Fitbit, right? I would try to get like 10,000 steps every day. I know this kind of things are not accurate, but I wanted to see like what's the figure somehow. In the past, when I used to track, right, the calories burned is a lot lower. But this time round, even with very minimal movement, my calories burn are a little bit higher, and you would actually know if your body temperature is a little bit warm after you feast properly. So one big sign that you're not eating enough is when you feel cold.
Exactly. Another good point that you mentioned. Wow. When you're feeling cold, when you're losing hair, it means that you are overstressing your body. It means that you are still not eating enough. And also I want to mention with hair, it's kind of delayed. It may actually take a few months before you see the benefits of what you're doing right with your diet. Translate into your hair. But the immediate side effect is the feeling cold. If you feel cold at any given time of being carnivore, you're not eating enough or you are fasting way too long for your body. Yes.
Yep. For me in the beginning, and for anyone in the beginning, if this is new to you, try out one day, where you eat leaner meat, see how you feel. And then try higher fat and see how you feel. I think all of us are very different, but at the end of the day, the fats and the meat itself, the protein, right? It's ultimately what your body needs. Sometimes you may need more of the fat, sometimes you may need more of the protein, and it changes. For me, I eat higher fat a week before my period. And then I will get to minimize all the cramps and the tender chest. All those would go away if I go higher fat. Yeah.
Ooh, very well said. And another great point and mistake that many people tend to make is they think when they find that perfect ratio, they need to eat that every day. It's almost like a requirement. And if they don't do it, they won't feel they're optimal. Well, guess what? It's not that simple. You have to always be in tune and listen to your body, because day to day, you may actually find your needs for both macros will change. especially around your period time. So excellent point.
I really enjoy our conversation. I enjoy all our other conversations as well, and even watching all the videos that is being put out. I think we are really sending a very strong message that, you be your own person to experiment and be very, very mindful of what you're trying out, and never give up. Never give up, because you can see from Bella's transformation and even from my own transformation, we thought that we know something is working, but we are always very in tune with how we feel at that point of time, and we make changes along the way. And here we are feeling our best, and we can all conclude that it's all because of the steak.
Oh, I love that. Best message ever to end this video with. As long as you are willing to eat the meat, you will be fine at the end of the day. Now, again, like Michelle said, don't be afraid of being your own N=1 experiment. Experiment, right? Fail, make mistakes, because that's how we learn. That's how we find our optimal level. And I also have to say, I'm always experimenting. Now that I'm 2 years in, 2.5 years, it's like, I know what is going to work for me. Like, I already know exactly what I have to do to feel good, but I want to know now, how do I feel better? How do I feel excellent, optimal, like fantastic? So of course, this will come with time, again, with a lot of failures and mistakes, with a lot of, pain and struggle, but just keep your eye on the prize, and that is good health and feeling good, and then later on feeling good about your body, maybe body recomposition, weight loss, but again, healing comes first. So this will wrap up our video. I have to thank Michelle from the bottom of my heart for being on my channel. So where can people find you if they want to learn more about you or reach out to you?
I'm very active on Instagram, so just that particular platform, I think you can find me at the Michelle X Lalic. I sometimes post carnivore updates in my IGTV, and if you want to learn more about what you wear, feeling good about your outfits, that is a place for you to go to.
Yay! So go follow Michelle on her Instagram at Michelle X Lalic, Lalic. I will link everything down below in the description box. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below any additional questions for us. Maybe we can make a part 2 or anything that you loved about this video. All right, Michelle and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.